Well, stop the presses. Having turned the abundantly blessed nation of Venezuela into a starving, oppressive, bankrupt basket case, the government is finally, reluctantly, sort of admitting that socialism doesn't work. The socialist leaders took over a lot of industries that they had no idea how to run except into the ground. So now they're backing off on the socialist utopia delusion by offering to let private investors run them in exchange for a share of the revenue or maybe products that the government will get. It appears to be a baby step in the right direction, but it's still not a return to capitalism and private enterprise. It's just a tacit admission that socialists can't run anything but their mouths, yet they still want to control companies run by competent people. Bloomberg, yes, Bloomberg, wrote a story on this trend away from socialism in Venezuela with a bold headline, "Bankrupted by Socialism, Venezuela cedes control of companies." I'm a little surprised to see such a far-left company imply something bad about socialism. Bloomberg may still have some sense in him, which means he'll be canceled before much longer. Bloomberg reports that dozens of chemical plants, coffee processors, grain silos, and hotels confiscated over the past 2 decades have been transferred, not sold, but transferred to private operators in so-called strategic alliances. 9 people with knowledge of the matter were the source for that. Managers cover payroll and investments and deliver products and a percentage of their income to the government. Of course they do. Ramon Lobo, a legislator with the ruling Socialist Party and former finance minister, said he believed this is positive because it's the synchronization of the public sector with the private sector. The state acts as a supervisor and receives compensation. So to translate that into English, quote, "We want competent people to run these businesses that we stole and ruined, but we still want to wield unaccountable power over them and get huge kickbacks," end of quote. That's the translation anyway. So it's no longer socialism, it's democratic socialism. Even so, Venezuela seems to be trending in the right direction regarding socialism, while the "it's democratic socialism" crowd here in America continues to yearn for Stalin's second coming. And they're not being at all secretive about it. Why would they be with the media covering for the Democrats, no matter how radical they are? But the irony of this situation is that the far left, which has become the mainstream left, is seeking to quash freedom of the press. The only thing stopping them from a direct attack is that little bitty thing called the Constitution. According to the Daily Wire on Monday, Democrat Representatives Anna G. Eshoo and Jerry McNerney, both of California, go figure, wrote a letter to cable news providers and streaming platforms pressuring them on the issue of combating, and I quote, "the spread of dangerous disinformation," end quote. Companies that received the letter include Comcast, AT&T, Spectrum, Dish, Verizon, Cox, Altus, Roku, Amazon, Apple, Google, and Hulu. The letter was sent in advance of a House Energy and Commerce Committee hearing this Wednesday dubbed "Fanning the Flames, Disinformation and Extremism in the Media." Well, first, here's the thing about the way leftist politicians use the term disinformation and misinformation these days. It's totally subjective. So when Representatives Eshoo and McNerney said in their letter, quote, "To our knowledge, the cable, satellite, and over-the-top companies that disseminate these media outlets to American viewers have done nothing in response to the misinformation aired by these outlets," end quote. What they're really saying here is that they are demanding that cable and satellite companies start censoring any outlet that airs information that they don't like. And if there's any doubt as to who these congressmen don't like, their letter continues. Again, I quote, "Are you planning to continue carrying Fox News, One America News Network, and Newsmax on your platform both now and beyond the renewal date? If so, why?" End quote. Democrats are legally stonewalled from censoring Fox, One America News Network, Newsmax, or anyone else, so they're trying to censor them the same way they censored Parler, by going to the source and using veiled, albeit obvious threats. To any Democrat who may be listening to me, you can't continue to call yourself a real Democrat or a liberal if you continue to support people like Representatives Eshoo and McNerney or the values they're propagating. And I don't think they're the extremists in the room. Notice how quiet the vast majority of your party is about this letter. If I had to choose between a right-wing candidate that only supported my secondary priorities, like a balanced budget and secure borders, versus a left-wing candidate that supported my primary priorities, like the fundamental freedoms laid out in the Constitution, I'd ignore the letter by their name and I'd vote for the latter, for the sake of my beliefs, my family, and my fellow Americans. I hope you're willing to do the same. Well, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed that video, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel below, clicking the notification bell, and be sure to leave a like and a comment. And share this video as well. Let your friends know about it. Of course, that is if you enjoyed it, and I'm sure you did. By the way, if you want more of my news analysis and commentary, you can sign up for my newsletter at MikeHuckabee.com. It is 100% completely free, and it's also calorie-free. How about that? No cholesterol in it whatsoever. And that's it for this edition of The Breakdown. I'm Mike Huckabee.